What's up, you guys? Got Nereus is here. And I can't believe it. I'm so excited for this. Guess what? We're going back to Ravnica. Yes, we're going back to Ravnica. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about going back to Ravnica. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. Wait, what are you saying? What? Oh, we got to talk about Dominaria first? Son of a... Hey guys, Nereus is here, and I would like to welcome you to the Alchemist Refuge. That's right. Welcome to the Alchemist Refuge. Alright guys, so welcome to the Alchemist Refuge. I am Nereus. This is MTG Alchemy. That's right. This is MTG Alchemy. This is what we're talking about from here on out. So today, we're going to be talking about Dominaria. Dominaria is about just a little bit over a month away. Actually, it's a little bit over 2 months away at this point. And Wizards of the Coast kind of dropped a big bomb on us, didn't they? With the announcement, with the story Sabotage. And if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, go give it a read. It's a really absolutely awesome story, really thrilling, and if you haven't had a chance, it's definitely worth your time, definitely worth the read. So, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to talk about Dominaria, alright? A lot of people have opinions about Dominaria, and, you know, there's a lot of people who have conflicting opinions. Some people think it's going to be amazing. Some people think that we're going to have one of the best Magic sets that we've had in a couple of years. And some people think it's going to be terrible. Now, I could go a couple ways with this. I could talk about how bad Dominaria is going to be, or I could talk about how good Dominaria is going to be. I could talk about what I predict Dominaria is going to be, and that's actually what I'm going to do here today. We're going to talk about the awesome things that I'm predicting for Dominaria, alright? Now, a couple of notes. First of all, a couple of my notes are going to be following with what the professor from Tolarian Community College has said about Dominaria, and I make no bones about it. I mean, it's in reference to it. I have a couple of lore spoilers. Nothing too terrible, just a couple of my own thoughts and suggestions on this. And real quick before I get started, I would just like to send a shout out to Eric Jacobs because we talked about this recently before I filmed this video. So I just want to thank him for hearing my ideas and going from there. So let's begin with number 10. This is a lore spoiler. UGIN appears. Now I know what you're thinking. UGIN's dead. No, he's not. If you remember, the events of Fate Reforged changed all that. UGIN is still alive, and he appeared at the end of Battle for Zendikar and berated the Gatewatch for killing the Eldrazi. But that being said, I think that we're going to see a reappearance of UGIN in Dominaria. I have a feeling that he's going to show up. Maybe not necessarily as a mastermind, but kind of a what the hell are you doing now kind of thing. He may get involved in the events involving Bolas, but you never know. My prediction is that UGIN appears in some way, shape, or form. I doubt he appears as a card, though. Just saying. Number 9, and this borrows from Tolarian Community College. I do think that Dominaria is not going to be a reprint set. So anyone who is sitting there expecting Dominaria to be Time Spiral 2, you're going to be disappointed. But I think that we're going to see the power resurgence in Magic that the professor predicted there. I think that that's where it begins again. I think we're going to see some very powerful spells being introduced. Maybe not necessarily Lightning Bolt, but maybe something very more similar to it. Maybe not a 2-mana one. I am going to make a prediction that it's going to be a little controversial, though. I am predicting that Counterspell is not going to be reprinted in Dominaria or in Core 2019. And you may be wondering why. I do not think that reprinting Counterspell into Standard would be a smart move. I know a lot of people think it would be amazing because then it would get introduced into Modern. I think that Counterspell is simply too powerful. It's a hard counter, and for 2 mana, it's almost breaking. Now, instead of Counterspell, I would suggest Mana Leak. I think the time is right to bring back Mana Leak into Standard. It's a great answer, and it will definitely help the counter control packages that are starting to emerge. That they're starting to emerge into Standard, and obviously it'd be a great resurgence for Modern, stuff like that. But anyway, number 8, Tribal is not going to be a huge factor in Dominaria. And I know people are like, well, we're going back to a plane that had so much amazing things, like, you know, like we had elves and zombies and goblins, and I'm not saying those things aren't going to be there. As a matter of fact, I would think that what we're probably going to see is, if we look at all 5 colors, we're probably going to get elves in green, we're going to get goblins in red, we're going to get zombies in black, get soldiers in white, and I know this is going to be somewhat controversial, but I think we're going to get merfolk in blue. Now, I know what you're thinking, but we just had merfolk in Ixalan. I think that what they began in Ixalan with merfolk, I think that there's going to be just a little bit more support in Dominaria. Maybe not necessarily like a subset, but I think that we're going to see some merfolk in Dominaria. It could help get that merfolk deck up to where they were intending it to be. This is my opinion. And I could be totally wrong. I could be absolutely totally wrong. All right, number 7 is a lore spoiler. So the time distortions that affected Dominaria during the events of Time Spiral, and if you're not familiar with what happened during Time Spiral, essentially what happened is there were time distortions that were all over Dominaria. And because of it, there were things from the past that were showing up. All right? And I think that they caused how time passes in Dominaria to be different, which is why we're going to see some characters like we already, like there's already, I guess, artwork of an aged Jaya Ballard, but yet we have a young Teferi, and I think that that's going to play a factor in here. I think that we're going to see these things play out with this. We're going to see why we still have a young Teferi. We're going to see why Joyra has remained the way she is, and I think that is it's probably going to explain why Teferi is still alive, and possibly how his spark has been reignited. Because as we understand, Teferi apparently lost his spark, like so many. But again, I think that we're going to see some things get restarted here. Number 6, also a lore spoiler. We know the KARN is on Dominaria. He's in the artwork. All right? So I think that KARN has come to Dominaria looking for solutions. All right? As Mirrodin, I'm sorry, not Mirrodin, New Phyrexia, has been ridden with the Phyrexian contagion, KARN is probably seeking a way to purge the Phyrexian invasion and restore Mirrodin to its former glory. Number 5, despite massive speculation, I just don't think that Slivers are going to make an appearance in Dominaria. And I know this is a very controversial one to talk about because some people love slivers. Some people love seeing slivers in it. And are like, well, why don't you want slivers back? Well, there's a couple reasons. Reason number one, we're only going to have just the one set on Dominaria. I just don't really see them giving us another round of slivers and having standard slivers. I feel like even if they just did Dominaria with it, I feel like it would suffer. And people are like, well, but we just had tribal influence within Dominaria that could help, or not Dominaria, within Ixalan that could help it. I don't think it's going to help enough. I think that it's one thing to have, like I mentioned, the tribes I mentioned earlier, those are kind of evergreen tribes, so they would be a little bit better. But if you do slivers, you're going to have to go across all the mana, and to me, it just doesn't feel right. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I just don't think that the time is right for that. And besides, on top of that, if you think about it, the tribal deck would be worse than Merfolk in Standard right now. It would be worse than Vampires in Standard, or even Pirates or anything like that. It would just get absolutely dominated by aggro red. I mean, even the other tribes, Merfolk, Vampires, they would just have a definitive advantage. I just don't think that the time is right for it. And I know people are like, well, maybe we can get it in Core 2019 too. I don't think that we're going to see that in Core 2019. I just don't. All right? So, I also don't think that bringing slivers back for the fourth time in as many recent years is the way. Number 4, following Tolarian Community College's predictions, I do think that we are going to see the masterpieces return in Dominaria, and they are going to be significant ones. Okay? What I am hoping is that the approach they take with this is I want closer to the Expedition Lands level of lottery cards with this, and less the Amonkhet Invocations. The Amonkhet Invocations, I mean, I've talked about them before, the idea of lottery cards and stuff like that. That's the other thing I'm hoping with this. Make the chances just a little bit better, okay? I'm not talking about, 1 in every 25 packs. That's ridiculous. Because that's basically saying, buy a box, you're going to get it. But maybe 1 in 3 boxes would be good. That, in my opinion, would be a better solution. 1 in 3 boxes would be good for that. And the other thing is that I do think that I think that using the old card frame for the masterpieces would be probably the best thing. If I had to personally make a request, I would say make one of them Gaia's Cradle. That was one of the only lands that just kind of got shafted with the Expedition Land run back in Battle for Zendikar. And I know some people are like, well, but we got Itlimoc and Ixalan. Itlimoc is not Gaia's Cradle. It works like Gaia's Cradle, but it is not Gaia's Cradle, and you cannot tell me that getting a foil premium Gaia's Cradle as a masterpiece would not be attractive. That would be definitely the chase rare of the masterpieces for Dominaria. I think that needs to be. We need them like the Expedition Lands. Those Expedition Lands were special. They had value. They knocked it out of the park with that. And then they did a pretty good job with the masterpiece cycle with the inventions and Kaladesh. But when they got to Amonkhet, I just feel like they just really dropped the ball, and we need closer to the Expedition Lands, less like the Invocations. Number 3, this one is going to be a little controversial. All right? So, I think that we're going to see the 3 Planeswalkers that were on it. And yes, I think that those 3 are the Planeswalkers in the set. I have a feeling that it's going to be Joyra, Teferi, and Karn. I hope they stick by this. We don't need a Gatewatch member as a card. in Dominaria. It just doesn't need to happen, all right? But I am predicting that we are going to have a Ghost URZA Planeswalker card to make it a 4th Planeswalker. And people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa! 4 Planeswalkers? You're going to say we're going to have 4 Planeswalkers in a set? Yeah. I realize that's also a dangerous precedent because the last time we had 5 Planeswalkers in a set, it was Lorwyn, when we had the original Lorwyn 5. Now, I just think that since we're going to see them tying together, I mean, this is again kind of following Tolarian Community College here, I think that they're going to be tying together the old with the new in Dominaria. And if they're going to connect the character, we need to be able to include what is probably the biggest Planeswalker in the entire game. The biggest name in the entire game. URZA needs to appear. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to be alive. Obviously, his head is in an academy somewhere, working as a researcher, and his body is gone, all that stuff. But I think that a Ghost URZA Planeswalker card would not necessarily be out of the realm of possibility. It doesn't need to be colorless. We don't need KARN 2.0 or 3.0. I mean, we're going to get KARN 2.0, but you get the idea. But I just think that that would be a great way to connect the worlds, too. This is my last lore spoiler. Well, sort of. So, number 2. I am predicting that we're not going to see a Gatewatch member as a card in the set. But, and I mean, the story Sabotage essentially confirmed it. We're going to see Gatewatch members appearing in the lore. My predictions for this, and I mean, it's kind of subjective, because I mean, I think that, obviously we know that Jace is going to be on Dominaria. We know that, I think it's safe to say we're probably going to see Gideon and Nissa and Chandra on Dominaria. I also think that we're going to see Liliana and Ajani on Dominaria. And I know what you guys are saying. And they're like, well, Liliana quit the Gatewatch. Well, that's kind of subjective. It's supposed that she quit the Gatewatch, but at the same time, I think that she's also riddled with guilt, and I think that her default was to go home. There may be an encounter with her brother Josu. I mean, that would be an interesting card. It would be interesting to see Josu as an actual card. It would be interesting to see him as a zombie legend. I mean, Lord knows it can happen. And then, this is my final spoiler. This is my number 1 spoiler. Or my number 1 prediction, I mean. I predict that Dominaria is going to be similar to all of the Time Spiral block. Alright? I think we're going to see a lot of throwbacks, some variations. We're going to see some previous mechanics return. I certainly hope that we do. People have been saying we need flashback back. Bring flashback back. Absolutely. That would be awesome. Bring back some of the best mechanics in the entire game. That would be fantastic. But I think that we're going to see that, and I think that we're going to see some insights as to where the game is going. So, what I'm meaning here is that I think that Dominaria is going to have somewhat in common with Time Spiral and with Planar Chaos, but not so much with Future Sight. I think that that's what we're going to see with Dominaria, and I hope I'm right. I honestly hope I'm right here. And then, of course, it's all setting up. There's going to be a confrontation on Ravnica. That is coming. We know it's coming. That's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to cover that. Ravnica was one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites to go back to. I mean, I have my old Fat Pack boxes up here from the Return to Ravnica block, and of course, one can't stay up. That's awesome. One of my favorite blocks was the original Ravnica block. My symbol was on Facebook for the longest time was the Celestia symbol. I'm still very much a Celestia mage. And I am just excited to see where we are going with this. And, you know, I'm hoping that we get some fantastic stuff in Dominaria. I think it would be fantastic. But what do you think? Do you think I'm right? Think I'm wrong? Is anyone right? Is anyone wrong? I mean, for all we know, Tolarian Community College is full of crap, and for all we know, for all we know, Strictly Better MTG could also be full of crap. I could be full of crap. You know what? That's okay. This is why it's simply a prediction. You know, none of us really know except for Wizards of the Coast, and I think they know that this is a very much a linchpin. There's a lot on the line here. They've got to nail this. I hope they do. I hope that for the game that they do. And hopefully we get the Dominaria that we truly deserve. But leave your thoughts and opinions below. Let's hear what you have to think. What do you think Dominaria is going to be? Do you think that we're going to get the Dominaria that we deserve? Or do you think that, once again, Wizards is just going to drop the ball and it's just going to push people further away? I much hope for the former. I don't want the latter. So, if you liked the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. It always helps. If you're not subscribed to the content, please subscribe. Since I've changed things up a little bit, hopefully it's a little bit different. Obviously, I try to have a bit more magic flavor in my video. I mean, I got some of my stuff hanging out here. I'm going to try to get some more stuff hanging out here in the future, magic swag is always good. I've got a couple of deck techs on the way. If you got an idea for an Alchemist Refuge video for us to talk about, let's open the lines of discussion. What would you like to see? What can I show you? I'm here for you guys. So, with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for dropping by the Alchemist Refuge. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you do, you know what to do to support us. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell your friends about MTG. Tell your friends about MTG Alchemy. Hashtag us as MTG Alchemy. That would be fantastic. I would love to get the word out there. Like I said, I may never be Tolarian Community College or the Mana Source or even Strictly Better MTG or anything like that. But I would love to throw my hat into the ring, so to speak, out there and see what ripples this channel could have out there in the Magic the Gathering universe. So, until the next time, I'm Neresis. This is MTG Alchemy. You guys are the best audience in the entire world. Until the next time, good luck, high five, and remember, let's be kind to each other, okay? Seriously. We're Magic players. Let's be kind to each other. Have a fantastic day.